Hvala lijepa, everybody. Thank you. Hvala, Nino, for inviting me. I understand that the wool, the VUNA, sounds a bit strange in a medical context, but I come from the medical world myself. I was a breast cancer surgeon for 40 years in the School of Milan, and the origin of this is that I always noticed that the patient who were knitting and working with wool or crocheting had a different approach to the disease. They were much more capable to cope with the stress. The previous speaker says, the only thing I understood was stress nije dobre. So, exactly, stress nije dobre, and this I understood. And this is why I paid attention to the fact that probably the activity of knitting has a connection between hands and brain that can help in coping with stress. So the concepts are basically two. On one hand, we live in a society that doesn't know what to do with VUNA because we keep the sheep for the meat and the milk for the cheese. You have the famous pug cheese, for example, well known all over the world. So you need the sheep to have the pug cheese. But then if you don't have any plan for the wool, you will have a problem, as we have all over Europe, because the wool is less and less used by the cloth industry after the discovery of synthetic fibers. So if you go in a Zara shop, you can buy a jumper for 15 euro, and you don't buy the wool jumper for 60. And this has changed dramatically and reduced dramatically the use of wool all over Europe. We have 100 million sheep in the European Union, and every sheep makes 1.5 kilos of wool every year. It's not her fault. It grows like our hair. So we have 150 million kilo every year of wool. We don't know what to do, and this is one problem. The other problem is that knitting and working with wool, also felting, in general, the contact with wool seems to be positive for the mind and interesting. And so with a group of friends, including Sandra Kerovets, who will talk later, and other friends, we elaborated on the basis of research from Betts and Corkill from the UK, the concept of therapeutic knitting. Therapeutic knitting sounds a bit pretentious, but it could be the application of knitting and the use of wool in the health sector and in the well-being sector. This concept of presenting and giving the chance to patient to knit, this is how we started. Patients have long hours at the hospital, as you know. I was in a cancer center, but also in other hospitals, they have long hours, and there is so much WhatsApp you can send, you can watch a bit of TV, but the time never goes. So we started with the concept of offering, would you like to try and knit and work with the wool? When we realized that this is a common problem in Europe, we set up in a very simple way with very little money, actually no money, the U Foundation. U is is an English word which means a sheep. The U is the mother of the lamb and the wife of the ram. But for us, U was very good as an acronym of European Wool Exchange. So we decided to do that. We are an NGO, a non-governmental organization, and this is what we promote. And we promote therapeutic knitting, meaning the use of wool, the knitting, and the knowledge that can give you a benefit. From the more technical part, we were also very lucky to have a donation from a family to make a study, a research study, which was performed by the Istituto Neurologico in Milan, Vesta, and we studied 40 subjects, 41 actually subjects, because the one was Sandra, so 40 plus Sandra. And we had the opportunity to use the MEG, the magnetoencephalography, as you know. And also we try with a control group of 12 people. So the 41 were usual knitter, people who knit regularly. And we did the MEG study before and after 20 minutes of crocheting. And it was quite interesting. We wanted to look at the impact, and we added what they call ANT, so the Attention Network Test is a software showing arrow and lights to stimulate the attention between the analysis with the MEG. This is poor Sandra in the machine. As you know, the MAG has many areas of the brain under study, not a bit more actually than a traditional electroencephalogram. And this allowed also the performance of, you did an hexagon or a square, an hexagon with knitting. So we were, at the same time, the technicians were studying the reaction in the different area of the brain, and also the change to the attention test. So the attention test was repeated, and the test showed, and the reason was, the scope was to see any changes as a consequence of knitting. Basically, this is all you need. It's klupko, it's one klupko, the stick, and the pattern to know what you're going to do. We ask in general, this happens when there is a nurse who loves the idea. If the nurse in the department loves the idea, then it's very easy for our volunteer to offer, would you like to try? Because our circle is that we get donation from private people, we buy the wool that would be thrown in the bin, we prepare the wool, and we donate the wool to the patients who are interested. So in conclusion of the study, which is now been submitted, unfortunately we don't have yet the answer, if it has been accepted or not, but certainly the study proves in a statistically significant way that crocheting can definitely improve the attention. You can have alerting and orienting, which is very important, for example, for cancer patients who have to decide different type of treatment. So they have to choose, they have to participate. Most of the cancer treatment is not unidirectional, like, I don't know, if you have diabetes, you have to take insulin and that's it. There is not much to discuss. But if you have different kind of cancer, there is a lot to be discussed. And there is also definitely an impressive speeding up of the information between different areas of the brain as a consequence of this. So this is what we are promoting. The nurse goes around and say who is interested in this. Inside the bag, this unfortunately is a plastic bag because at the time of COVID we need to sanitize. But we are not using plastic anymore. As I said, you have what you need. And in the specific case of Alzheimer, and I think this is also the reason why I was so happy to come and join you here, is that, as will be explained much better after me, Alzheimer patients can benefit of this beautiful thing. They look piece of art. Goran, maybe can you turn off the light just 1 second, because there is a light over the screen. And if you turn that, you can see them really better. Sorry, I thought you could do it from there. Sorry. I should have done it myself. And they are called twiddle muff. And twiddle muff, perfect, thank you. Twiddle muff means that they can put this like a sleeve, and then they start playing, and this has a proven effect on calming and reducing the anxiety in an acute crisis of an Alzheimer patient. But this, as I said, will be explained much better. You see there are some that are really beautiful piece of art, and we are very grateful to Udruga Ozana in Zagreb, who organized last year the European contest. We received these twiddle muff from all over Europe, gave the award, and was very impressive. So I thank you for the attention, and this is just a little message, a seed in your brain, and we hope it will grow, and we will send you wool from all over Europe. Hvala lijepa.
Thank you.